What's good, Panther Nation? It's your boy, Myron McRae, a.k.a. Tornado McRae, across the scours of the internet, here with another episode of Panther Pride TV, your one-stop shop for all your Panther notifications and your Panther obligation. Happy Thursday to all of y'all. Hope you are having a great Thursday. Hope everything's going smooth. You're almost at your end of your work week. It is Friday, Junior. It is the last day of July, which means, y'all, we are one step closer to the NFL season starting, man. Listen. We're almost done with July. Offseason's coming to a close. Everything's getting round up and ready to go. So let's go ahead and get into today's docket because a few things have been going up. And as the headline, as y'all can see below, T-Mac shines and others are on the sidelines. So yesterday's practice kind of looked like this in terms of personnel. And here are some of the highlights and overviews. Apologies in advance. Forgot to change it to day 7 at the top there. So that's on me. But still got the notes from it, and as we see, number 1, J.C. Horn, Renfro, and Pat Jones sat out due to injuries. T-Mac had his best day of training camp. Fitzgerald had his worst day in terms of the kicking game. And then apparently some celebrations were going slightly out of hand. We're getting a little too out of hand. And then per Dave Canales, the Panthers will be in full pads for Fan Fest. So if you're attending Fan Fest, you'll be happy to know they're going full pads for that. But just to harp on a few of those key topics. 1, Renfro, Horn, and Jones. They sat out because Renfro had a slight hamstring issue. Horn sat out due to a toe injury. And then Jones sat out due to feeling, I want to say it was illness. Which one was that? I want to say he was sick. He was sick or he had illness. I do know that. And I will say I'm seeing slightly more injuries than I would like to, if I'm being 100% honest. I don't like what I'm seeing. However, they are a lot of minor injuries. And because they're minor injuries, I'm not too worried. Because they're minor injuries, I'm not freaking out like I'm Courage the Cowardly Dog. Just like I'm not doing that. But I am kind of just like, hey, y'all seeing these, right? I need these nipped in the bud. So that's my thought process, but I'm not going to harp too much on it because usually when you speak stuff like that into existence, it happens. So I'm not going to speak any more injuries into existence, and we're moving forward. Next, T-Mac had his best day of training camp, and man, oh man, y'all see what I'm talking about later on, but I saw some of the highlights from T-Mac today at camp. Hey, that boy continues to impress and shows why he should have been taken number 8 overall. I'm just saying. He's looking like a smarter and smarter draft pick by the day, so can appreciate that. Now, as far as the kicking situation, it looks like this may be where we start to see some separation in the kicking department and really find out who is going to be the kicker for Carolina, whether it's Matthew Wright or Ryan Fitzgerald. And if Fitzgerald had his best day, they didn't put up what Wright did. So I'm inclined to believe Wright did fine. He did another 3 for 5, maybe a 4 for 5 day. And all these kicks were on the skinny post. I will say this. It is noted that Fitzgerald's kicks would have made it on a regulation post, but on the skinny post, he was missing. So take that for as you will. I think it's definitely better if he's more accurate on the skinny post. That means I know when it comes to the big post, he'll be good to go. And fourth thing, sorry, kind of had lost the train of thought. But according to Dave Canales, the celebrations were getting out of hand. Apparently during practice, both offense and defense, when they made a big play, were celebrating, and it was a little bit excessive. And Canales was kind of like, yo, these are actually penalties and could harm us. But also at the same time, reiterating, we want that grit, we want that attitude, that swagger, and that mentality going into the 2025 season. And my whole thought process is, if they are backing it up on the field, if they are backing up their trash talk with great play on the field, shoot, let them talk they talk, bro. Let them talk their talk, man.
Message.
I'm trying to tell you. The worst thing you could do is if you have a player who is firing on all cylinders and doing great, and one of the reasons is because he just trash talks all the time. If you take that away from him, you take that essence of that player away. You take an aspect of who they are away. So I'm all for it. As long as they're backing it up on the field, I'm all for it, man. I don't see the issue with it. Next, want to talk about our boy Taylor Motton, and could this be his last dance in Carolina? I know. Shocking, right? But as we all know, as of right now, Motton doesn't have a contract going into next season. And during yesterday's press conference, he was asked about his future in Carolina and how that would make him feel. And here's what he had to say about that. He says, I try not to think about it. I've had some of my best years here in Carolina. Being a Panther means a lot to me. It's crazy. You don't know the future. Obviously, I want the years to continue, but if it's my last year, I want it to be my best year. I want it to be the offensive line's best year, the offensive units last year, the team's best year. Do whatever I can to help both this be our best yet. I'm a little emotional thinking about it. Dang, man. Dang. That hurts reading. And then you followed up with Brent Tillis, obviously VP and whatnot. Here's what he had to say in regards to Motton's contract. He said somebody pours their whole life into this like Taylor has, and he's faced with potentially going to a new place next year. But at the same time, we're going to make the best decision for the organization. If that means keeping Taylor here, then that's great. If those two things align, we are open to it. Not going to sit here and say we're definitely not going to do it, or we definitely are. Whatever makes the best sense for the Panthers will do. I ain't gonna lie. Hey, yo, Brent.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
Listen, Brent. Listen, bro. You pay a guy like Motton. You pay that man. You pay that offensive lineman. You want to know why? That man is Iron Man. He has been there up until this past season due to a tricep injury. That man not only is Iron Man, he is great at his job. He's no slouch. So you're getting a guy who is readily available at all times of day and night. He is readily available every Sunday, Monday, Thursday, and occasional Saturday. And you mean to tell me re-signing this man is not in the plan? And not only that, he wants to be here. Please let us not forget that. He wants to be here. So we can't sit there and let him walk. Now, if we just can't do it due to financial reasons, okay. But please let that be the only reason. Don't let me find out that we could have re-signed him and we just flat out didn't. Don't do that. Don't do that. Please don't. But that's what I got to say about that, man. Next, I want to follow that up with another contract situation going on, and it pertains to our franchise. To extend or not to extend the Bryce Young saga. And so the reason why we're asking that question is because Bryce Young's contract has been subject to potential extension next year, and everybody's asking what's going to happen. So Brent Tillis, once again, came back up, and he said this about Bryce Young's contract. Said, Bryce is an ascending player, so I don't want to sit here and make any kind of promises, any kind of statements about what we're thinking about Okay, I had a whole brain fart reading that sentence for a second. All right, I just misread it. I apologize, y'all. But he says, let me restart. says Bryce is an ascending player. I don't want to sit here and make any kind of promises, any kind of statements about what we're thinking about for Bryce's contract or anything like that. And Bryce would probably be the first to tell you, Bryce needs to focus on football and being the best version of himself, and the contract will still get figured out. Brett, I'm going to say this. And I get it. Bryce Young is definitely more on the thin ice than Taylor Motton. Taylor Motton, I will tell you for sure, you re-sign. Bryce, you re-sign under some conditions, or you extend under some conditions. One, main reason, you extend Bryce Young if he improves and the record improves. Like, without a shadow of a doubt, if Bryce is able to take that next step and our record is better than it was last year, you keep him. Like, it's plain and simple. If he steps up but our record doesn't improve, I still think you keep him. I honestly still think you keep him. Now, if our record improves, but he doesn't step up, or he doesn't step up and our record does not improve, yeah, you can put him on the trading block and see what you can get. You can put him on there. I'm not a fan of getting rid of Bryce Young. I still think he hasn't had long enough foundation to warrant that. But I understand the gripes and everything that everybody else has. So I think Bryce will get extended. I'm putting that out there now. I think Bryce is going to get the extension. I think he's going to ball out this year, and he's going to do his thing. But I wish they would get this extension done before the summer. That's all I got to say, man. And then, actually, I got a new tidbit for y'all this week. Something new for y'all. And due to yesterday's practice, I have what I am now going to call Panthers freeze frame of the day. And here's today's freeze frame. Man, it is the clean, one-handed snag that Ted McMillan had on Corey Thornton in today's practice. If you've seen the video, if you've seen the highlight, this picture doesn't do it justice. But oh my God, it was so nice. And it was so beautiful. Like, y'all see that? That's something you put on a poster. That's something you hang up on the wall. That's a fat head from like 2005, bro. But I love it. I love to see it. And I think I'm going to do that from now on. Just find what I think is the best photo out of training camp or whatever day it is, and just make sure that's going to be our freeze frame of the day. And lastly, guys, it is now time for Panther Nation to speak your truth. All right, man. And the first comment we are going to go with comes from the homie Big Lou, baby. Never the little one. But Big Lou, my man, says, life is crazy, but one thing we can all agree on is football brings people together. Love the show, bro. Just waiting for you to call my name on the viewer comments one day. Love the show. I'm locked in. Keep pounding. Hey, Lou. Glad you appreciate the show. Welcome. I saw the comment. I had to put you in, man. Hope you are happy. Hope this makes your day. Hope it makes your Thursday, man. And you enjoy it. We all gonna lock in together, and we're gonna have a fun season. Looking forward to going on this ride with all of y'all. But Big Lou, baby, hey, I see you, my boy. Next comment comes from the homie Glowman_B. My man's got 3 points. He says, 1, Dan was going to get cut regardless. Fair. 2, I'm glad Trevin took the initiative to get more insight in his position from the likes of Shaq and Luke. I hope it shows up profoundly in his game this season. Facts. Big Fox. And then number 3, hot take, not really to me. Panthers 2025 could win a ring this year when it's all said and done, being an underdog per usual. Hey. Hey, man. He ain't lied. Now, I will say this. In terms of winning the Super Bowl, I picture the Carolina Panthers kind of like how I picture my Indiana Pacers. Flying under the radar. Nobody's expecting us to get there. Even if we get there, nobody's expecting us to win. So that's how I'm kind of feeling on that. And I'm glad the Super Bowl is just one game and not a best of 7. Could y'all imagine a best of 7 Super Bowls? Oh, my God. And then lastly, comes from the homie Panthers in all black. Wait. Oh, hold up. Wrong one. Wrong one. Here we go. Wait, what? What is going on here? Hold up. Ah, there we go. Now we got it. All right, comes from the homie Doug Higgins, 2937. My man says, I mix my PB&J in a bowl first, all together with a splash of syrup. Then put on bread. If you haven't tried it, it's a must. Trust me, you'll never eat PB&J anyway the same again. So you said you put the PB&J in a bowl and syrup, so you kind of make it all as like one paste? Am I understanding that right? So you put it all together, kind of mix it up as one paste, then you put it on the bread and make it. Yo. I ain't never thought to. All right, y'all. Doug, I'm gonna go check that out. For the rest of y'all, I'm gonna go check that out. I might eat. You know what? I'll eat it on camera. Next episode, I promise you. I will eat it right here on camera. I will eat it here on camera for the next episode. That's gonna be tomorrow's episode. But guys, with all that being said, thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to like, share, subscribe, and hit that notification bell at the bottom so you can always be notified when these videos are dropping, baby. Next, comment below and let me know. 1, how are y'all feeling about like the kicking team, the injuries, and everything that's transpired in training camp so far as we're nearing the end of the first like full week of training camp? 2, do you think Taylor Motton should be re-signed and we should already have this contract settled? And 3, what are your qualifications for Bryce to get extended going into the summer? What does Bryce need to do to receive an extension after this year? Let me know in the comment section below, because at the end of the day, what do I know? I'm just a skinny brother with 2 tats. Peace with all you Panther Nation. Take care, later days, and as always, keep pounding. I'll see you next time.